Hey everyone, today we are diving into something that, let's be honest, probably feels familiar to a lot of us. That feeling of being constantly under pressure. But are you just stressed out? Is it anxiety? Or could it be something more, something deeper? Well, we're going to untangle all of that and arm you with some real, practical tools to handle it all.
Just to set the stage for the world we're all living in, look at this number, 95%. According to a recent report, that's how many teens in the US are on social media. And that feeling of being constantly connected, constantly on, that's not just for teenagers anymore, is it? It's a pressure we're all feeling.
So that leads us to the big question, right? In this world that just never seems to stop, how can you tell the difference between having a tough week and actually burning out? Getting this right is honestly the first, most important step to feeling better. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's put a name to this feeling. We throw the word burnout around all the time, but what are we actually talking about when we say it?
So this is really interesting. This is the official definition from the World Health Organization. And notice they don't call it a disease. They call it an occupational phenomenon. That's a huge clue. It means burnout is specifically tied to stress from your job that just goes on and on without being managed. So let's translate that official definition into real life. What does it actually feel like? Well, take a look at this list. Does any of it sound familiar? Being tired all the time? Feeling kind of disconnected from what you do? Maybe you've gotten a little cynical about it all. It can even show up as headaches or stomach problems. These are the red flags that normal stress is tipping over into something more serious.
And burnout isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. It can show up in different ways for different people. For some, it might look like getting super emotional or irritated over small things at work. For others, it's that deep, draining feeling where you just need to be alone after your day is done. Or maybe it's that you've stopped enjoying the things that used to make you happy.
So let's make this really personal for a second. These are actual questions from a burnout survey. Read them. How about that first one? I often feel like a squeezed lemon after work. I mean, what a perfect description. Or losing interest in your hobbies. Does any of this hit home for you? It's a really good way to just check in with yourself, honestly.
All right, so now that we have a clearer picture of burnout, let's tackle two other words we use constantly: stress and anxiety. They can feel so similar, but knowing how to tell them apart, that's a game changer. I really love this quote. It's from psychologist Dr. Aradhana, and she makes such a great point. These feelings, they're not always the enemy. A little bit of stress or anxiety is actually what gets us to study for that test or prepare for a big presentation. It's a motivator. The real problem starts when it stops being a helpful nudge and just becomes overwhelming. So here's the simplest way to break it down. Stress. That usually has an external cause. Think about a big project deadline at work. You're stressed, right? But once the deadline passes, that stress usually fades away. Anxiety, though, that can be more internal. It's that worry that sticks around, that feeling in the pit of your stomach that hangs on even when, on the surface, everything seems fine.
Okay, deep breath. We've spent some time defining the problems, which is super important. But now, let's pivot. Let's talk about solutions. And the absolute foundation, the place where it all begins, is learning to actually understand what it is you're feeling in the first place.
This is so incredibly powerful, and it's backed by research. The simple act of putting a name to an emotion, of just saying to yourself, okay, what I'm feeling right now is disappointment, or this is fear, that simple act can give you a sense of control. It's not about pushing the feeling away, it's about seeing it clearly.
And here's a really practical way to do that. Emotions don't just happen in our minds, right? They happen in our bodies. So think about it for a second. Where do you feel anger? Is it a tightness in your jaw? A hot feeling in your chest? By tuning into those physical signals, you can get way better at figuring out what you're actually feeling emotionally. And here's a cool little insight for you. Anger is often what we call a secondary emotion. A lot of the time, we jump straight to anger because it feels more powerful, more active than the feeling that came right before it, which might have been something way more vulnerable, like feeling hurt or scared or powerless. So next time you feel that flash of anger, try asking yourself, wait, what did I feel just a second before this? All right, now for the super hands-on part of our chat. We're going to stock up your mental toolkit with some real concrete strategies you can pull out the very next time you feel that wave of emotions starting to rise. This is a beautifully simple 3-step process you can literally do anywhere. First, the second you feel it coming on, just mentally shout stop. That creates a crucial pause.
Second, do something physical to relax. Count to 10, take a few really deep breaths, step outside for a minute. And only then, once you feel that calm start to return, do you re-engage with whatever was happening.
Of course, the best way to handle a crisis is to prevent it from happening in the first place. Think of this as building up your emotional resilience. And it's all the stuff we know we should do, right? Taking care of our bodies, getting good sleep, moving around a little every day. But I especially love that last point. Do one thing each day that makes you feel competent and in control. That's how you build positive momentum. And that brings us to our final tool. And this one is a real powerhouse. It's not just some nice little hobby. It's a scientifically proven method for improving your mental well-being in the long run. We're talking about journaling. This quote from Dr. Pennebaker, who's basically the leading researcher on this, nails why it works. When you write stuff down, you're getting it out of that chaotic echo chamber in your head and putting it somewhere you can actually look at it. It gives you distance. It gives you perspective. And the results? I mean, just look at this list. It's kind of mind-blowing. We are talking about real, measurable health benefits. It can literally improve your immune system, lower your stress hormones, help you sleep better. It's just such an amazing reminder of how deeply our minds and our bodies are connected. And here's the best part. There is no right way to journal. You can't mess this up. If writing Dear Diary makes you cringe, don't do it. Maybe you're a bullet point person. Or maybe you just want to jot down 3 things you're grateful for before bed. You could even draw or sketch. The whole point is to find a style that feels good to you.
So, wow, we've covered a lot of ground. We've defined burnout, we've untangled stress and anxiety, and we've built a whole toolkit of strategies. But in the end, it really all boils down to this one simple question. It doesn't have to be a massive life overhaul. Maybe it's just taking 5 slow, deep breaths. Maybe it's going for a 10-minute walk. What is one small, achievable step you can take for yourself today?